Wash these 5 body parts daily to live a longer life. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to stay sharp, energetic, and healthy well into their 80s and 90s, while others struggle with constant fatigue and declining health? You know, we often think it is just luck or genetics. But what if I told you the difference might be something as simple as how you take care of your body each day? Most of us follow the same routine we have had for decades. We shower, we brush our teeth, maybe apply some lotion, and we assume we are doing everything right. But here is something shocking. There are 5 overlooked body parts that most people, especially us older adults, are not cleaning properly. Now, neglecting these areas is not just about cleanliness. It can lead to chronic inflammation, weaken your immune system, and has even been linked to heart disease and cognitive decline. I was reading a fascinating study from the Cleveland Clinic just the other day, and it really stopped me in my tracks. It turns out researchers at Harvard Medical School have also found that these specific hygiene habits are directly linked to how long we live. What I learned changed the way I think about my morning routine entirely. Today, I am going to reveal these 5 hidden areas. Fixing this takes just minutes, but according to these leading medical experts, it could add years to your life. So, stick with me. Let us learn how to live better, together. Before we dive in, if you want to help other folks our age find this important information, please take a moment to click the like button. It really helps our community grow. And if you have not already, please subscribe so you do not miss our next talk. Now, let us get started with the first body part. Let us start with the first one. And I have to admit, this one surprised me the most when I first heard about it. It is your tongue. Now, think about it this way. Imagine you spend all morning cleaning your kitchen. You scrub the counters, you wash the dishes until they sparkle, and you sweep the floor. But then, you leave the garbage can, overflowing with trash, right in the middle of the room. It does not make much sense, does it? Well, that is exactly what happens inside our mouths when we brush our teeth religiously but completely ignore our tongue. You see, your tongue is not just a muscle that helps you chat with your friends. It is actually like a sponge. At any given moment, it is holding on to over 700 different types of bacteria. Now, when we were younger, maybe our bodies could handle that better. But for us seniors, this is serious business. If we let that bacteria sit there, it does not just stay in your mouth. It can sneak into your bloodstream through tiny little cuts or inflamed gums. The experts tell us this is directly linked to heart issues and can even make managing diabetes much harder. So, what is the fix? And please listen closely, because I want you to try this tomorrow morning. Do not just use your toothbrush. Brushing your tongue often just pushes the bacteria around. Instead, you need a simple little tool called a tongue scraper. You can pick one up at any drugstore for just a couple of dollars. Here is exactly how you do it, so it works. Stick your tongue out. Place the scraper at the back, just as far back as you are comfortable with. Do not go so far back that you gag yourself. Then, gently pull it forward to the tip. Do not press down hard. Think of it like you are wiping a dusty countertop, not scraping paint off a wall. Do that 3 or 4 times. You might see a thin white or yellow film come off on the tool. That is the bacteria and dead cells leaving your body, which is exactly what we want. Make this a habit every single morning before you eat breakfast or drink your coffee. I promise you, within a week, you will notice something wonderful. That morning coffee is going to taste richer. Fresh fruit will taste sweeter. You are clearing away the gunk so your taste buds can actually work again. It is such a small thing, taking less than 30 seconds, but it lightens the load on your immune system and makes a world of difference for your health. Next, let us talk about the true foundation of your health, and that is your feet. You know, a specialist in senior health once put it to me this way, and I have never forgotten it. She said, "If the base of the house is weak, everything above it starts to suffer." That makes a lot of sense, does it not? Our feet carry us through our entire lives. But as we get older, the circulation in our legs and feet naturally slows down. That makes them much more vulnerable than when we were in our 20s or 30s. Now, I want to be honest with you because I used to do this too. How many of us stand in the shower, wash our upper body, and just figure that the soapy water running down our legs is enough to clean our feet? We have all done it, but I am here to tell you that simply is not enough anymore. The real danger here, and this is what trips so many people up, is moisture. The biggest mistake is not drying your feet properly. Leaving dampness tucked away between your toes is an open invitation for fungal infections. Let me tell you about a man named Thomas. He is 73 years old, a lovely fellow. Thomas battled foot infections for years. He was frustrated, he was in pain, and he could not figure out why. He thought he was keeping clean, but he was missing one crucial step that was keeping him sick. So, here is exactly how you fix this. Next time you are in the shower, I want you to be intentional. Use a washcloth and actually wash between your toes. If you need to sit on a shower stool to be safe, please do that. But here is the most important part. When you get out of the shower, do not just wrap a towel around yourself and walk away. Take a dedicated towel, sit down, and dry between every single toe. You need to be meticulous about this. Take your time. You want that skin to be completely dry. And here is a pro tip that many people get wrong. If you use moisturizer, that is wonderful for your cracked heels or the soles of your feet. But you must never, ever put lotion between your toes. That just traps moisture and feeds the bacteria. Keep that area bone dry. This simple habit keeps the skin strong, prevents those nasty infections, and keeps your balance and your mobility steady so you can keep walking comfortably for years to come. Now, let us move on to number 3. This one might seem like the most obvious point on our list today, but I have to tell you, in my experience, most people get this completely wrong. We are talking about your armpits. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, well, I wash them every day so I do not smell bad. And that is true. Nobody wants to be the smelly person in the room. We usually think of our underarms as just a nuisance, a place that gets sweaty or maybe a little bit fragrant if we are not careful. However, I learned something recently that really opened my eyes. It turns out, this area is so much more than just a source of odor. Your underarms actually house a very sophisticated network of lymph nodes. Think of these lymph nodes as the security guards or the filtration system for your body. They are crucial parts of your immune system that work hard, day and night, to filter dangerous toxins out of your body. Now, as we get older, our immune system needs all the help it can get, and these little nodes are on the front lines. I want you to picture this for a moment. If those tiny pores in your skin are clogged up with layers of old deodorant from yesterday, plus dead skin cells and dried sweat, your body struggles to do its job. It effectively struggles to detoxify. We are essentially blocking our own exit doors for toxins. We layer on that white stick day after day, and it builds up like a wall. If your pores are blocked, that waste has nowhere to go, which can lead to inflammation and tenderness. So, what is the fix? It is time to change our routine. Do not just swipe a bar of soap and go. That is simply not enough to break down that waxy buildup. When you are in the shower, I want you to take a warm washcloth and some mild soap. Do not use anything too harsh that strips the skin. Gently, and I mean gently, exfoliate the area. Rub in small circles. You want to physically lift away that old residue so your skin can finally breathe again. And here is the secret that most folks miss, and it makes all the difference in the world. Please, let them dry completely before you apply any fresh deodorant. I mean bone dry. We are often in such a rush to get dressed, but if you put deodorant on while your skin is still damp from the shower, you are just trapping moisture and bacteria right there against your warm body. That is a recipe for irritation, rashes, and bacterial growth. We need to stop treating this area as an afterthought and start treating our underarms like the delicate immune centers they really are. Your body will thank you for it. Number 4 is something we take for granted every single moment of our lives, and that is your nose. I want you to pause for a second and really think about this. We take roughly 20,000 breaths every single day. That is 20,000 times that your body has to pull in air, filter it, and send life-giving oxygen to your brain and your heart. But here is the question that most people never ask themselves. Is your filter actually working properly? You see, your nose is the body's primary air filter. It is exactly like the lint trap in your dryer or the air filter in your car engine. Its job is to catch dust, pollen, and microscopic allergens before they can get into your delicate lungs. But just like any filter in your home, if you never clean it, it gets clogged. Over time, that buildup of dust and mucus creates a blockage. When that happens, the consequences are much more serious than just a runny nose. It leads to snoring, which ruins your sleep. It leads to mouth breathing, which dries out your throat. But most importantly, it means you are getting less oxygen to your brain. That lack of fresh oxygen is often the real reason why you feel foggy, sluggish, or constantly tired during the day. It is not just because you are getting older. It is because you are not breathing right. Let me tell you a story about a man named James. James is 69 years old, a retired construction worker, and a wonderful man. He spent 40 years of his life on job sites, surrounded by sawdust, drywall dust, and grime. For decades, James suffered from chronic congestion. He woke up every morning feeling heavy, like his head was stuffed with cotton. He told me he just assumed it was the price of aging. He accepted it. He thought, well, I am an old man now. I suppose this is just how life is. But he was wrong. James finally decided to try cleaning his nasal passages daily. He started a simple routine, and within 2 weeks, he called me and said it was like a fog had lifted. He was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. He had energy to play with his grandchildren. He realized that for years, he had been walking around in a state of semi-suffocation simply because his filter was dirty. So, how do we fix this? It is incredibly simple, and you do not need expensive equipment. The best method is to use a saline spray in the morning. You can find this at any drugstore. It acts like a refreshing shower for the inside of your nose, flushing out all those irritants and allergens that settled there while you slept. If you prefer a more natural approach, you can simply breathe in steam, stand in a hot shower for a few extra minutes, or lean over a bowl of warm water with a towel draped over your head. That warm steam loosens the mucus and opens everything up beautifully. And I want to leave you with one final, critical tip that most people get wrong. When you blow your nose, please be gentle. Do not pinch both sides and blow as hard as you can. That forces pressure into your ears and sinuses, which can actually cause more inflammation. Instead, press one nostril closed and blow gently out of the other. Then switch. Treat your nose with care. Clearer breathing means better sleep, and better sleep means you will have the energy to enjoy the beautiful life you have built. And finally, we have arrived at the fifth and final spot on our list today. It is the smallest one, but I would wager it is the most neglected part of the entire human body. I am talking about your belly button. It is funny, is it not? That little mark is the very first scar we ever got. It connects us to where we came from, but in our daily lives, we completely ignore it. We scrub our arms, our legs, our face, but most of us skip right over the navel like it does not even exist. However, we need to pay attention to it. Because of its shape, especially if you have an innie or a deeper navel, it acts like a little pocket. It traps sweat, dead skin cells, leftover lotion, and yes, even lint from your sweaters or shirts. It is dark, it is warm, and it is usually a little bit damp. Unfortunately, that makes it a perfect luxury hotel for bacteria and yeast. I want to share a story about a woman named Jane. Jane is 78 years old, and she is one of the most fastidious people I know. Her house is spotless, and she always looks put together. But a while back, she confided in me about something that was embarrassing her deeply. She kept noticing a faint, unpleasant smell. It was a bit musty. She thought it was her clothes, so she washed everything she owned. She thought it was her furniture, but the smell followed her wherever she went. It turned out, it was not her laundry, and it was not her house. It was her belly button. She had simply never thought to clean inside it, and over the years, it had developed a mild infection. She was mortified when she found out. But I told her, "Jane, you do not know what you do not know. There is no shame in it, but we have to fix it." So, how do we make sure this does not happen to us? The fix is very simple, but you have to be intentional about it. When you are in the shower, do not just let the water run over your stomach. Take a soapy finger or the corner of a soft washcloth and gently clean inside the navel. You do not need to scrub hard or be aggressive. Just give it a little attention. Now, if you have a particularly deep navel, here is a little trick that works wonders. Once a week, take a cotton swab, some people call them Q-tips, and dip it in a little bit of baby oil or even just warm, soapy water. Gently twirl it inside to lift out any stubborn dirt or debris. You might be shocked at what comes out. Keeping this small area clean prevents redness. It prevents itching, and most importantly, it keeps you feeling fresh and confident. It is a tiny detail, but taking care of the little things is what taking care of yourself is all about. So, from your tongue all the way down to your toes, we have covered quite a journey today. These 5 small habits might seem simple, perhaps even a little bit trivial on their own, but I promise you, the payoff is absolutely huge. It only takes a few extra minutes out of your day, but think about the reward. You are going to feel cleaner. You are going to breathe deeper. You will stand steadier on your feet. And most importantly, you will be actively protecting your heart and your immune system. You know, I often tell my friends that it is never too late to start taking better care of the vehicle that carries you through life. It does not matter if you are 60, 70, or 90. Your body is a miracle, and it appreciates every single bit of kindness and care you show it. Now, I have a question for you today, and I want you to be honest with me because we are all friends here. Which of these 5 spots have you been neglecting the most? I have to make a confession to you right now. I used to completely forget about the tongue scraping. I just did not think it mattered until recently, and now I cannot imagine my morning without it. So, do not be shy. Please let me know in the comments section below. I sit down with my tea every morning to read them, and I truly love reading your stories and hearing from you. If you found these tips helpful today, please do me a small favor and hit that like button. It might seem like a small thing, but it really helps this video reach more folks just like us who need to hear this message. And if you have not done so already, please make sure you subscribe to Elderly Heart Talks. We have so many more simple, science-backed ways to help you live your best life coming up very soon. Take very good care of yourself, my friends, and I will see you in the next video.